Broadcast.gg Scrim Night Showmatch between the 3800 bracket Team Venus and Ungentleman Black. I'm your host, John Kick Tripod Horseman, and I am very honored to be with two esteemed, wonderful, beautiful casters today. First, Lemon Kiwi. Hey. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you 30 minutes ago.
30 minutes ago. And also the compliments coming our way there. He's really gassing us up.
Yeah, that's right. We don't normally do that. I'm not normally this nice, Lemon. So maybe you're gonna get spoiled. We'll have to bring on John.
Spoiled. I like this host already. I like him more already.
That other beautiful voice is none other than Mushu Beef, who is like the captain and champion of this thing. So hello. Hey.
Good to see you, dude. You know, you calling me captain, it makes me want to play that new pirate game. But I guess our closest thing, Sea of Thieves looks so cool. But I guess the closest thing is going to be that Torbjorn skin, to a pirate.
When we eventually let him wall climb, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone needs to wall climb. It needs to be a game mechanic. So,
I had a dream last night that the Torbjorn turret walked around with Torbjorn.
Wow. What did
like
he put on his
spider?
back?
Yeah, just like a little spider tank. Like those, in the prequels to Star Wars, the ones that mostly don't exist, where, the little things that roll out in a ball and then have the shield all the way around the front of them. Those is like that, but a Torbjorn turret. It was
I like it.
Something else. But enough about that. A little bit about this match. So this is going to be a scrim. We're going to be going for about 2 hours. We're going to be emulating a best-of-5 format and going through control, escort, assault, hybrid, and then back to control, I believe. But what I'm really excited to talk about is these teams. Lemon, can you tell us about Team Venus?
Well, I think there's a lot of hype around this team. I know everyone's writing about the female involvement in Overwatch right now, and here it is. It's Team Venus, the only, I think, that I know of all-female Overwatch team. And of course, I think are using some guy subs today, but most of the time they are running an all-female roster. And this are consisting of the best North American female players in existence right now, or at least it's missing maybe 2 of the top DPS, but most of the talent is right here. I'm going to go through a couple players and say what their roles are. Mainly looking at Marla, I think this is the captain. I think she's still the captain of the squad, but this will be the in-game leader, the captain, the one that keeps up the morale and the hype. She's also the main tank player, so of course a lot of shot calling is going to come out of her. She's also able to flex onto a support role player, so she has a lot of capabilities of filling different roles if things are not working out for the team. Adept, again, is one of the best DPS players of the team, and she has a very niche pick of playing a really badass Reaper. I think she has on her bio that she was 11th in the world for her Reaper play. She's amazing. I'm looking forward to her pulling at least that character out and many of her other DPS that she'll pull out of her hero pool. And then Kristen, you might know her as maybe Mega Chu's partner, or she's also really a great Overwatch player as well. And she will be playing as the off tank, so her most preferred hero will be Zarya. But whatever, I guess they might flex onto Dive, and maybe she'll pull out the Diva or another off tank like that. So mainly Kristen and Marla, watch out for them as the tanks. Adept will be the main DPS, and I think they're trying out some new people for these DPS roles. Chubby Tubbs will be the second main DPS for the team. And they're also trying out some new support players. So they're rotating some different substitute players in. They've got Sayumi as their main Zenyatta pick, and Moon-Eyed, who will be their Mercy player.
I'm really excited to see this team in action. I've heard a lot about him. On the other side, we've got, where is my thing? Ungentleman Black, UG Black going on. Mushu, what's going on with this team?
Well, we know this org pretty well. Ungentleman, they have, of course, Ungentleman Red, they have Ungentleman Black, and this team actually is a 3800 SR team, and they're in open division, doing pretty solid here after 3 weeks, going into week 4 with a 4-2 record, so not bad. It's the Swiss format, so they'll be going against other teams that are 4-2, and so it's really going to show how good this team is. But coming back to this, there is one person that, if you are familiar with UG Black, that is missing. That is OP Freeze, who does normally the Zarya, the Flex, flex tank or onto the Mei. We've seen OP Freeze do really well with the Mei, but so really want to point out mechanics on the tank here, and Nebs coming in to substitute. We'll see how well Nebs can fit in on the flex role, bringing in projectile still, but also Lizard Birdie has always done really well on the Widowmaker, so have to watch out for him.
It's very cool. This is going to be a close one. These two teams are very close in their SR, right, Lemon?
I would say pretty much. I think both of them are around 3,800 Grandmaster level, and I'm just excited. It's the first time seeing this. First time for me seeing this all-female team Scrim, and me and Mushu casted over UG Red the other day, and they had a really solid performance. I'm excited to see how their other color counterpart are going to do here.
Great. Well, hey, I'm going to leave it to you and Mushu to go ahead and take us through, starting off on Nepal. Have fun, guys. See you on the other side.
Thanks so much, John. So, yes, we are indeed going to Nepal, and I guess given those picks that we talked about, Lemon, I mean, this is the first time we're seeing Team Venus. Who are we really looking for in this to really kind of lead the team, given that it's the control point?
Well, I already highlighted the Adept there. She has a pretty solid Reaper. She's gonna explore this Farah role, especially on this upcoming Nepal map. It's pretty useful here for Farah. And also how Marla is going to be flexing between the Rhine and maybe the Winston, depending if they're going to run Death Ball, which seems to be more of their comfortable play style, or if they want to try something more dive related, which is pretty in meta right now. But what are you looking forward, or what are your expectations out of UG Black coming up?
It's going to be about the flex play. Nebs is coming in and subbing in for, like I said, I was talking about OP Freeze. And so we'll see how they can control the space. As you guys can see, we're getting right into the game. Right now will be game one between UG Black and Team Venus.
Capture the objective.
Oh, we're kicking things off. You got Venus that already locked in full dive on the side of UG Black. A little bit of a different scenario. Orisa with Roadhog. They're going to be able to set up the shield here onto the high ground, get the speed boost there from Showtime, and rain in those Roadhog bullets down from the low ground where Venus are setting up. They're going to be setting up on the other side here of the point, where usually you see this battle sort of start out on the high ground, but they're going to give some room here to Adept onto the Spar to sneak onto the side so you can get some early rockets. But now they're going to be taking cover here inside the point where the battle will commence.
They're already getting into the point. They have that Orisa shield, so that's going to really help them out because the Winston bubble is just not as useful, especially for dodging it out. But they're already losing their Mercy, but the trade is going the other way. They're keeping it pretty even so far. And now, we're going to see the Orisa shield really come into play here, Lemon. It's going to be a lot of protection. You see how he's just dipping and dodging out of that. See how long he can stay alive.
Oh, now only the tanks remain here for UG Black. Orisa finally goes down. T-Smag's the last one left. Will be able to build a lot of ult charge getting that heal, but ultimately Venus will get, well, I guess the second capture there.
Yeah.
So UG Black only start off with 23%. Venus will now, actually, I think this battle is still going on. There was a player from UG Black able to step back and get the resurrection, but still kind of stalling out that time, able to extend their lead at least to 32%. But Venus, again, with the initial capture, and also building themselves some ultimates.
Yeah, it didn't flip right away for Venus, so not bad there from UG Black. They didn't have to invest too much in terms of ultimates, whereas Venus had to use it for their side to flip it over, but the fight was in their favor, and now it's going to be about getting back onto the point. So we see all the self-destruct going out, but it's a little bit too far behind. The shield's going to cover behind them as well, but Adept close to that rocket barrage. We see a couple more shots. Will she be in a good position to use this?
Oh, and here's the Dragon Blade here out of Nebs. See what it's able to do? It looks like he's able to chop up Marla, and also the whole hog paired from T-Smack shoots away Moon Knight for no resurrects from the side of Team Venus. As you can see, your kill feed is raining and all for UG Black. They retake the point here with ease. And unfortunate there for Kristen's self-destruct, which would have been great to push off the offense from UG Black, but they were able to speed boost through it and also get protection there from the Orisa shield, as you pointed out.
And some great fighting, and it happened on two fronts there. You saw the 1v1 between Nebs and the rest of the team, but now it's going to be Venus coming back, and they have that rocket barrage. It's going to be about whether they can take her out. If Adept can get in a good spot, you'll have those rockets take out someone like Lizard Birdie, who is going to be on the point. That's going to be a big pick, though, coming out. The Zenyatta will not be available for this fight.
Oh, we got an Angry Monkey on the field as well, as that's going to be Marla trying to clear the field away for her team, but losing so many members. Venus are going for a smart full reset there, only, giving up maybe 20% there for UG Black, but smartly resetting and not giving up too much time. But they go into this next fight here with Sayumi's Transcendence, which will either guide them onto the point, or once they're able to get onto the point, they'll be able to extend this fight in their favor. But Adept still holding on to the barrage, was not able to find an opportunity there in that last fight. But also, Chubby is looking for an opportunity to maybe go for a back cap and maybe open up an opportunity for his team.
Yeah, just coming into the back of the point, and that's going to be a big pick. Nebs is going to be lost. Didn't even have that anyways, but here comes the Rocket Barrage. Adept does get taken out, though. But here, you can just see just how much pressure is being put on by Team Venus in this moment. They're putting all their ultimates. They know they need to win this because they're in overtime.
Oh my goodness, we're in overtime. Valkyrie's in the sky here for UG Black, but soon to be going down. Lizard able to get a nice stun there to take out Marla, but Team Venus will be able to retake the point in just on time for UG Black. Were able to walk away almost with this map number 1. However, UG Black are quite the toolkit going into this next fight. Dragon Blade out of Nebs, which was able to make quite an impact there in the last fight that he did use it. And T-Smack also with the whole hog, which will be great to zone out some of these tanks, and especially Marla as soon as that shield goes down, and the rest, especially Chubby. If he starts getting annoying there on that Tracer, the whole hog will be perfect to get him away from his support players. The UG Black now setting up for another offense to retake. You can see Adept over on this archway. But take a look here at Lizard Birdie. He's got almost the Deadeye ready. Another shot. He should be going for this Deadeye here onto the high ground. Self-destruct here from the side of the defense of Venus. Setting things up. Lizard Boy just getting some shots. Here's the Deadeye. Finds right behind the Mercy. Able to get her down. That was a huge pick. And this will be good here for UG Black.
Yeah, but can they finalize the rest of the kills? You can see Team Venus just winning the rest of the fight. Lizard Birdie's Deadeye came out too late in the fight, and he's even going to be dying a little bit too late himself, as we're rolling already 90% here. Team Venus have flipped it, and they've kept the momentum in their favor here, Lemon.
Oh my goodness, UG Black were not able to flip it even with the Deadeye and the kill onto the Mercy. But here's Nebs, he's going to open things up here with the Dragon Blade. But Adept here with the Barrage, it's going to be raining down on 2 players, mainly taking out Showtime and Nebs, shutting down the Dragon Blade, is shutting down that map number 1. 102.99, Venus Strike for his blood.
An Adept there, the flex, performing so much better than Nebs because of how they're able to really just tie it in and just play as a team together. Saw their ultimates used together as a team. Saw their movements together as a team. UG Black looking a little bit discombobulated as, you know, they're trying to go through the main, but they also do the flank. The timing wasn't working for them.
That fight really came down to the wire. That was a huge barrage from Adept at the very end, and really nice Deadeye there from the side of UG Black to get the kill onto the Mercy, but not able to flip the point in their favor. That was the most important fight for UG Black if they were determined to win that. Is going into map number 2 now. Let's see if Venus can close this out, or if UG Black are going to keep this series alive. Taking a look at these compositions, pretty much same thing out of side of UG Black. Maybe switching Lizard, I think it was Lizard Birdie on to from the McCree onto the Tracer. And now Venus going with an Orisa Roadhog composition, switching from their dive from the last map. Smart move, Orisa and Roadhog versus Orisa Roadhog, and it's going to be a fight on the pillar side.
Yeah, see both teams trading out, both those shields falling, but they can be able to replace them in a trade already. But they're fighting on this left side. We'll see who moves towards the point first. You see Adept taking a really nice position, able to bounce the grenades off the side, but they gotta watch out for the boops, and that's gonna be Adept trying to get back, is able to use the fancy footwork on that ledge. Thank goodness for whoever built this Sanctum, but it's gonna be Marla and Team Venus. They're taking position on the point, and they look like they'll be winning the shield battle.
And also the UG Black sent their Tracer player onto the point, so this forced everybody to now engage onto the point, separating these players. Nebs, huge tire kills, picks up Sayumi, mainly one of the support players, and also DPS players down for Venus. Full reset into play. UG Black starting with the first capture, as they did into the last map. I think they believe started with 30%, but Venus were able to retake pretty quickly. But look at this ultimate build-up from the side of Venus. They got Chubby Tubs with the Dragon Blade, Adept also with the Tire, and this is going to be big to punish this grouping here for UG Black onto the right side. We'll see what Venus are going to open up with.
Yeah, they have lots to work with, and already, I mean, opening up with a pick on your side, though, that's not going to be it. I mean, they had so many options. You have 2 ultimates to work with, and then your hog decides to go and get hooked, but sometimes it is just not in your favor. You know, you think you can go ahead and scout out with that higher health pool, but you can see now Venus have a lot to work with, but UG Black, because of that pick, Venus have missed their timing window, so they decide they want to do a flank and use their ultimates when they're all together behind an Orisa shield.
Yeah, going in towards the right side. This is a free open doorway, but now engagement's onto this long hallway. Orisa Supercharger here from the side of UG Black. But it's going to be quickly taken out as, again, a little bit of a transition from Venus on to the point here. And that was a sound barrier triggered from the side of UG Black. Here's this push from Nebs being extremely aggressive. And there's Venus with the Dragon Blade.
Able to cut down Nebs on the point, who was took out 2 earlier last fight, and now moving on to the tanks. But you see those respawns now. They just drove out the Dragon Blade for nothing, as the Mercy is going to be canceling out that entire ultimate. But now here comes a whole hog from Kristen. To see what she is able to do, as that's going to be the tire from the other side, but the hook locks are up. UG Black holding strong here on this point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for that whole hog. Sometimes it's also almost nicer to go into the room and push everybody off into the pit of death than rely on breaking shields or try to go from a different angle. And whole hog could really push people off the map. Unfortunately, she gets taken out. Not really much can do with that whole hog. And after all that ultimate buildup that Venus worked towards, 95% and growing, it's most likely going to be taken here by UG Black. Let's see if this opportunity can open here. Supercharger from the side of Venus. They were not able to touch the point at the last second. 100-0. That is quite the flip of scores here heading into map 3.
And of course, it's maybe the reverse Caster Curse. You call out a player and then they step it up the next round. Nebs stepping it up with the Junkrat, but at the same time, if you're the projectile DPS, a Junkrat in Inner Sanctum, it's definitely a pretty solid pick. But now we have a lot of open space. Will we see Venus bring back the Pharah, or will they, maybe go on to the yeah, there we go. There's the Pharah pick.
Yeah, I think they're a lot more comfortable playing this Pharah Tracer combo than they were playing the Junkrat and Genji from that last map. A little bit going to be more coordinated here, or maybe they think they'll. Well, since they won the first map with this comp, maybe it'll work again. UG Black also having some interesting picks here. The Roadhog now paired with the Reinhardt instead of the Orisa, but in a really important first pick from Lizard Birdie onto the Widow, on to the Fires, and losing one of their main DPS. Hopefully able to just stall out this fight in order to regain Adept. But again, point now unlocking, and this should go here in favor of UG Black.
Yeah, Team Venus got pushed off. They had 2 early picks already, and so they're going to have to pull back onto this point in large part due to Lizard Birdie, who continues to frag out. Are you kidding me? I'm just watching the wrong team right here. We should go over to Lizard Birdie.
This Widow's insane, and now also she'll be able to grant some vision. So maybe not the most insane ultimate in the game, but a lot of information can be gained on how Venus are going to decide to push this next point. Are they going to go through the main doorway or go onto this high ground? It seems they might be deciding to go on this high ground and also do maybe what they did on the last map and do a lot of ultimate build-up and get close to that. So you can see they're going onto the high ground. The vision is activated here from the defense, so they know what's coming. T-Smack goes for a hook, doesn't get anybody yet. But slowly but surely, they'll make their way to the point. 35% here for UG Black. The Widow here, Lizard Birdie, has sights. And also, is trying to get a pick there onto the Zenyatta, but the fight is engaging here of the tanks. Huge pin there from Mechanics, and he's going to hammer everybody out of his sight.
And meanwhile, this is now Lizard Birdie getting distracted. So this is what Chubby Tubbs needs to do. Even get a kill onto this Widowmaker, it would be good enough. But see, that distraction was great. But like you talked about, Mechanics with the pin on the opposite side, more staggers on the way through. Lemon, you talked about how the Infer site really helped your team. We saw it there. They went for the flank, but they were just completely exposed.
Double hit scans here for UG Black. It's going to make it hard for Adept to adapt. But she now realizes that, switches to the McCree. Another one of her solid picks. Will be able to maybe stun and get some long-range picks onto this Widow, which they have not yet dealt with. T-Smack again picks off one of the main tanks there from the side of Venus. That's Marlo switching from the Winston to the Reinhardt. Has not found any success yet. And Moon Eye not really finding an opportunity or not finding it safe to go for that resurrect. But now they sacrifice a lot of time now. 90% here for UG Black. It is time for them to engage.
Yeah, and look, they just don't have much to work with. The Valkyrie, though, that's a pretty good ultimate to have ready to go. But not when he's going to have the Earthshatter onto almost the entire team as Adept goes down to the whole hog. And now they have even just all the ultimates pouring in from the side of UG Black. Not looking very good, looking very grim indeed for Team Venus.
Oh, these tanks from the side of UG Red have been absolutely aggressive, whether it's the Reinhardt pinning everybody, whether it's T-Smack going for these hooks or these whole hogs. These tanks have been really leading the way here for UG Black, and Venus, unfortunate that Adept was not able to make as much of an impact, dealing with the double hit scan of Widow and Soldier on the other side, and switching to the McCree and then not having the front line to make their way to the point in enough time. So with the win, I believe it was on map 1, UG Black take the next 2 maps for the 2-1 victory here on Nepal.
Hi guys. So
Welcome back.
we practiced that transition,
Great.
sometimes you just are like so entranced here by the excellent widowmakering going on that you just kind of forget, be like, oh, I've got a job to do. This was a really interesting one. The first one, obviously 199 went in the favor of Team Venus, and then they weren't really able to get anything going the second 2 rounds of the map. What did you see them change between, or I guess, what did you see Ungentlemen change to really kind of begin to take advantage of Venus and their strategy?
Yeah, I guess I'll speak to that because I was supposed to be the person, the cheerleader for And Gentleman Black. So I mean, what we saw change was again Nebs onto the flex support. Sorry, the flex DPS in this case. It was about the projectiles and putting him on a hero that would excel in that map. So on the first map, I think was running the Pharah on there, but just kept getting taken out, unfortunately for them. And so then switching onto the Junkrat for the close quarters combat, when you have that point that is more exposed, right? You have a lot of cover on Village, and so we saw. I really have to look to Nebs for why UG Black looks so different, and of course mechanics on the front line too for them, making that much space. You saw the Earth Shatters, and you saw how when the fights were happening on 2 different ends. Mechanics was helping UG Black win that off.
Something that we saw was obviously Lizard Birdie on Widow there. That seemed to be doing a lot of work. I mean, how important, especially in that last round, was that first pick for them, Lemon? How important was it that they're getting that first pick as they're getting that fight on Nepal?
Well, that was huge. That last map, Lizard Birdie, as you said, picking up the Widow, getting that first shot onto a depth, probably really stir some confusion into Team Venus on how are they going to decide to still engage the point without one of their main DPS, and what are they going to do to make up for it? Are they going to tell her to maybe switch off of it, or how are they going to deal with that Widow on the other side? And as that last map you saw how dominant Lizard Birdie was, whether it was providing the vision for the next push or just feeding into any exposed members. Mainly the supports were always hiding and not able to engage into the team fights as much as they were. And you could almost see and feel the fear out of Venus, as when Marla, when she went down as the Reinhardt, you didn't see the Mercy even attempt to go for the Resurrect until she had Valkyrie and was able to just spring the Resurrect and run away. I think that was another crucial mistake, that they didn't go for that Resurrect, which costed them the last map. But Lizard Birdie really was dominant on that Widow on the last map, which now on Gibraltar here loading up, I think we might see that again.
I was going to ask here. So we're going on to a Watch Point Gibraltar, our escort map. Mushu, what are you really looking for between these 2 teams? We saw a little bit more dive-centric comp come from Venus in the first round. Do you think we'll see that again from them?
Absolutely. I think on a map like this, when you have a tank like Marla, who I believe is Lemon, I think you mentioned she's probably the captain of the team. I mean, when you have
shot caller,
yeah, when you have a captain and shot caller on a tank role, and you empower them by putting them onto someone like a Winston or a Diva, someone that can dive to the back line of the opposite team, that's just going to allow the rest of your team to sit more comfortably. They need to take out the threat of Lizard Birdie and Nebs, both of those DPS who are performing really well for UG Black. And so one great way to do it is dive, especially when you have a Mercy meta still. You haven't seen the nerfs yet of the Resurrection. More likely to see aggressive pushes, and with the rest of the team following up means that you can get a Resurrection safely.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get started on Gibraltar. Lemon, Mushu, have at it. Have fun.
Well, I'm excited for this map, and in case you're new to the stream, UG Black are leading the series 1-0 of this best of 60,000. I think it's going to be a best of 5, but it is Scrim, so they might extend it to just 1,000 games. But here on Gibraltar, UG Black will be starting here onto the defense, and Venus onto the offense. They're going to be locking in their usual dive comp, but here Chubby Tubbs is going to be trying out this Widow.
Yeah, Chubby Tubbs is on the Widow and won't be spawning anything quite yet, is because they're way back. We just saw the defensive position of UG Black, and now we'll go ahead and check out Chubby Tubbs. Now just sees the coast is clear, and Narissa's shield, that's going to be the signal that they are setting up very far away, so trying to get some quick picks. I'm trying to charge that ultimate. So we'll see. Yeah, gonna get that payload all the way through. Lemon, this might be a mistake here for UG Black. We'll see how it plays out.
I'm not sure about this positioning, really. It's not something I've commonly ever seen. Because they just gave up pretty much 3/4 of point A to hopefully have the most solid defense they've ever had, because it's always easy to start at top of Car Wash and then engage to the secondary defensive position. But now you can see UG Black stepping onto the point here, finally contesting this distance, able to get a couple picks here. Venus getting some equal trades here. They're losing all their players. The reset here goes in for Venus. And although this UG Black did give up a lot of distance, they're able to finally step onto the payload and convert those into kills.
Oh, here goes. Actually, Chubby Tubbs is going to win the battle versus Nebs. That feels bad, but I mean, that's only one kill, and even a stagger. I mean, you might say that's worth there. You'll get your soldier back. He'll be running back while Widowmaker just tries to Spider-Man her way back. So we'll see now as they get reset up again. We were kind of questioning and calling out UG Black, but they seem very comfortable in that defensive hold. Interesting to see that it was Orisa and a Winston that made that happen.
Yeah, this is a very interesting pair of tanks. Orisa extremely non-mobile, whereas Winston, one of the most mobile tanks in the game. Self-destruct here sent from the defense. Gonna get bubbled there from, I believe that was Marla.
Yeah.
You can see Venus assessing the situation, noticing this defense is still top. One member, however, has made it down below, and that's T-Smack on the Diva. So they might be deciding to go after T-Smack, who's a little bit out of position here. Valkyrie's going to be popped early. You can see this dive. It's going to be sent. Oh, the Diva bomb right behind the Orisa shield. Who is it going to find? Oh, it looks like a lot, but it is Diva, the Torbjorn turret, and one of the supports. So someone needs to step on here onto the payload for Venus. Showtime here onto this Torbjorn is going to get taken out, and Venus have locked in point A.
Look at that. And this positioning, we didn't really talk about why we felt it was so risky. You lose one fight, you have no insurance, you have no buffer. So we sometimes see teams contest right away on the point at spawn, and then they die right away, but it's because they have more time. Now you can see moving into point B, 3 minutes 51 seconds to work with, and they continue to get the momentum in their way.
Oh, pushing in that momentum. UG Black again likes to set up at the very end of the point and give up all this free space. And usually, defensive teams will set up on this high ship and try and step down onto the payload to contest some of this distance. But again, Marla is going to be stepping in for the Winston. Here's the Dragon Blade outside of Venus. Chubby Tubbs slicing away this Diva mech. Probably going to slice up the miniature version of Diva as well. Going after the support here of Scorpio Zero, able to get the kill as well as a pulse bomb from the side of Adept will also take out the tank. So everybody's cleared out for UG Black, and along with point B, this is looking like a breeze here for Venus.
Man, and Neb's getting staggered at the end as well. A breeze indeed, just like they're blowing their way past point A, just right onto point B. And I mean, right now we are definitely expecting some more challenge here. Is that we do see the defense coming back. They want to contest this point, and they're starting to get the numbers on. Everyone that's blue, again, that's on your defense. So UG Black starting to make their way on, and Nebs even back onto the point, but getting taken out from Chubby Tubbs again, and then self-destruct just to zone out everyone from the offense. But are they pouring in the ultimates and when they shouldn't, Lemon?
Oh, well, at least they triggered out the Transcendence, although they weren't able to secure any kills from the self-destruct. And before I could say, they captured point B, 0.68 meters. And still, Resurrect was able to go through there for the defense, right in the middle of 6 people. There's Nebs with the tac visor, trying to shoot everybody away. Mainly Moon-Eyed goes down and scored. However, the equal trade on the other Mercy is valuable for either team, and now 2 minutes remain, and it looks like the defense are able to sustain for now, as Venus thought they had captured this. Now have to go for a full reset and a lot of distance to make up for it.
Yeah, we're talking about breezes. UG Black saying we're just going to be a wall. I don't care how fast your hurricane winds are just raging against us right now. We're going to hold it 0.68 meters away. And what was a 4-minute chance, they wasted 2 minutes on that fight. Are you kidding me? UG Black. And they're down in the ultimates, but they're able to hold it in a position to where you wouldn't expect it. And when you stall out at this point of point B, then it's sometimes hard to get it started back up again. We'll see if their starter motor has any more gas in the tank.
Well, Venus are on a huge ultimate advantage, having their supports, having also the Dragon Blade here from Chubby Tubbs. Marla also having the Primal Rage, and I believe it was the Primal Rage from Mechanics that got sent out, but gets immediately shredded. Sound Barrier triggered here for the defense to try and maybe make them survive against the self-destruct. Transcendence also triggered for the offense to push them forward. but Resurrect's coming in. Mercy from the defense goes down along with the DPS, so only one tank remaining. That's Mechanics trying to stall this one as much as he can, burning time onto the clock. 1 minute remains. Can he step onto the payload? And finally, it is captured for Team Venus. They go into this final phase here with 2.5 minutes. They want to push this momentum forward. Adept going in huge. They're killing the Scorpio, Scorpion Zero, and the Lizard Birdie. Now pushing this momentum forward, taking up as much space as possible.
Yeah, they're going to make so much room forward. You see how Adept just positioning so far forward, and Chubby Tubbs has a Dragon Blade in the back pocket, but Adept now having to use everything, and all those cooldowns managed so well. And look at this, Team Venus now in the comfort zone. We're talking about the dive. John was absolutely right, and it's going to be back here, but that's a big one. You can't afford to push in without your Mercy on this. So we're going to see Moon-Eyed and the rest of the team for Team Venus reset.
Well, that's an unfortunate. I think that was a cooldown situation there for Marla. She was not able to bubble, or at least not grant a safe path for their Mercy player, Moon-Eyed, to get out of that situation. So that's going to stall them a good 20 seconds for the next fight, where UG Black can now occupy some more space onto the main road. And still mainly looking at Chubby Tubbs to open up an opportunity here with the Dragon Blade. You see UG Black are finally disengaging here. Shields will be going down. This will be Venus's moment here to engage. Valkyrie here is going to be triggered from Moon-Eye pretty early into this fight. He's going to be following Marla, who gets picked early into this fight, uses up a Resurrect. And Chubby Tubbs here with the Dragon Blade. Yeah, is able to cut down Showtime, and then this might be lights out, might be the curtain call for Team UG Black, as they're starting to really pile into the point, but they still have Scorpion Zero, the Mercy player, up in the sky, but they're kind of equalized at this point. And you can see now Team Venus trying to get everyone back up, but that defender's advantage might be enough to push them into it, and the self-destruct able to clear the point as well. No one was in range, but it just made sure that everyone from the attack have to fall backwards. Also, Lizard Birdie onto this Widow. If he's able to set up really far away, even if Venus are able to take out the front line, they're going to have to deal with Lizard Birdie all the way in the back. That will be getting picks on mainly their supports that have been getting caught out exactly like that. Sayumi gets picked right away. Resurrect should be going through, but now they know the Resurrect is not going to be available, so every pick here is going to be important. 30 seconds remain. This will be the last fight for Venus. Now, can they maximize the distance out of this really bad pick here onto Marla, onto the Winston, so not really having much shields. They send out the self-destruct here from Kristen. Chubby Tubbs opens up with the Dragon Blade, slices through the supports, make it onto one of the tanks as well. Sayumi pushes the cart, maximizing all of the distance, but they have to trigger the Transcendence because the Widow is trying to go for all the picks she can onto this high ground. The defense only have a few members left. They need to stop this push from going in. It is now in overtime.
Yeah, they're getting the sticks. Everything is going right for Venus's DPSs. They're killing everyone they need to. It is not happening in the most fast fashion. And they just got to shut down this soldier who's on the right side. And that's going to be even some supports coming into that. The orbs going to the face of the soldier, as Team Venus should be able to close this out. But they still have to kill this Mercy. Showtime and Scorpion are still around.
This is going to be... Kristen opens up with a huge double bomb. But Scorpion Zero is the one that remains in the air after the Valkyrie. So again, defender's advantage. Just need to deal with, I believe there's a Tracer onto the payload. Just the last one left. Mercy up into the skies. Can anyone shoot her down? They're going to go for point C. Mercy going to finally the tanks are back into the spike. Chubby is here with the Dragon Blade. Is going to go after the tanks. Self-destruct here from the side of the defense. Everyone needs to clear out. Marla goes down. Now they're missing a tank. Can Venus sustain a spike? They've cleared everybody out. Lizard Birdie could not make it back to the payload. And in overtime, Venus score all 3 points.
That was one of the craziest fights that we've seen. The amount that Venus was able to stay with that attack, they were not able to focus the Mercy given their comp. They have a Genji, they had the Tracer, so they're just leaving her for last, but that means that UG Black is so much harder to kill. You add on the defender's advantage, it looked very unlikely there until those last couple picks. Had the self-destruct come out, zoned everyone into the hallway, and that lined it up. That Dragon Blade can hit everyone in the range. It will hit everybody. So that's what really helped push them forward. And really, it was just about the focused fire from Team Venus, clearing out the point at the end. And even Mercy extended it a little bit more with like 10 HP or so. So, I mean, you got to hand it off to UG Black, but Venus really showing how strong they are when they start getting the kills their way.
And very interesting that UG Black gave up like 3/4 of point A and pretty much 3/4 of point B. And even after so much free distance given to Venus. They bring it to overtime. And I think the main delay mistakes were Marla getting picked very early in the fight. She's getting focused down as the main shield provider for the team, and which forces out either a resurrect where they're able to focus down Moon Knight right after and usually get the kill onto her, or some instances where either Moon Knight or Sayumi get picked early in the fight, either by Lizard Birdie or by, I think there was a self-destruct that unfortunately didn't get bubbled from Marla and costed their Mercy at the beginning of a fight. So a couple of mistakes that kind of costed them some time on the clock, but UG Black will get their chance here at the offense. We'll take a look at their composition here. Full dive, Lizard Birdie again sticking onto the Widow.
And Lizard Birdie are expecting to see some frags, so we're going to go ahead and check out that POV. And so, I mean, this is going to be tough for, if you're looking at for the defense of Venus, they need to play around the shields really well. The sightlines of Lizard Birdie are going to be crucial for this first push. But already getting the kills before the Widowmaker can get in position, that's a really good start for this defense.
Oh, Hardy, 2 picks and both tanks down here for the defense. Or sorry, the offense is looking good, but they make their way through Car Wash.
Yeah.
Venus now need to step onto the point and stop this from happening. Now they're engaging here the sole player of Nebs, who's still onto the cart, focusing the rest of these players from the offense. This will be a really good stagger if they're able to get the subsequent kills. They get it onto the DPS, and now the supports are down. So still a good stagger, although it took a little bit of time to engage the cart.
Yeah, it's a bend not break defense, so they're allowing the cart. But I mean, you see how much had they lost that fight, they still would have had time to get back to the payload. So again, UG Black running a little bit of a different strategy on that. Venus showing you what a more conventional defense would look like, because we already see them starting to engage.
Oh, here, this engagement here onto the high ground. UG Black meets him onto the same ground, forcing Venus to jump back down onto the low ground. Where Kristen now trying to protect these DPS players. Sayumi goes down early, but a Riptire here from a Dev. Let's see what it can find. Trying to find this Mercy player is able to escape him and just serve right now. Both supports are in there. Only finds Showtime onto the Lucio. Still, Scorpion Zero remains alive as the Mercy for the defense, or sorry, the offense. Cart pushing forward here. Self-destruct sent from the offense. Misses the high ground where the soldier was, but still able to zone out the reinforcements.
And you see them starting to inch their way in, and UG Black starting to land their shots. Lizard Birdie now uncontested in the backline. That means that's going to be a lot of shots onto your head, but that's going to be already now. This is the Transcendence coming. Oh, excuse me, the Valkyrie coming out. So the Mercy is going to stay alive on this defense, as you see. UG Black trying to make way for the rest of the team, but this is where it's going to start to break. You have a Winston behind you, just completely surrounded. Everything that you've been working towards, you're not able to keep those battle lines to keep this Widowmaker safe. This offense will not work.
Oh, questionable use of the sound barrier there from the offense, and that was a really great move from Marla to get into the backline as the Primal Rage and bat all these squishy players into her teammates to feed those kills, which triggered, I guess, a panic sound barrier from the Lucio and burnt through one of their support ultimates. However, the offense still have the Valkyrie. Now they've just used their vision here from Lizard Birdie. We're gonna know some players onto the high ground, mostly on the left side. Look at this dive. Now they're engaging here, able to demech, or no, sorry, not demech, but Kristen here is still alive. Lots of kills going forward for the offense. They use the Valkyrie to keep their offense sustained as well, but nobody's here onto the card. Finally, they do step onto it. Kristen's gonna get demech, leaves a little present behind after he gets quickly bubbled, but nonetheless, she's here to contest the card and burn more time on the clock.
Oh, but here comes the tire, takes out 2. That self-destruct, they felt like they were safe, but Adept, very adeptly yet able to do it. And no, that is the stagger. T-Smack just asking, please have mercy. That's gonna do it. Helix Rocket, Chubby Tubs now up to the Tactical Visor, and Sayumi with the Transcendence as well. Defense has got a lot going for them going to this next fight.
Well, offense also has some tools into the toolkit. Nebs went down with the Dragon Blade, so he's going to have it into this next fight. He's going to be looking for an opportunity. But this defense here from Venus setting up onto the top left, having their tanks right above the card to jump down at any time. UG Black assess their situation, waiting for T-Smack to also send out the self-destruct. And here it is, right onto the payload, finds all 3 players of Deb trying to answer back. Moon Knight going for a couple resurrects to sustain the defense. Tac Visor coming in. It is a brawl onto the payload. 10 seconds remain. UG Black have not even gotten to point A, and they need to go all the way to the end. Venus are in a great position here with the Valkyries in the sky. Can UG Black keep it up with their own Valkyrie in the sky? Overtime dwindling down. Transcendence is sent out from the defense, and UG Black don't know what to do.
Yeah, they don't know what to do, but they have a lot to work with. They need to use these ultimates right now. Lizard Birdie can't find those shots because of that Winston bubble, and Nebs has the Dragon Blade available, and it looks like they're just going to try to ration this off. They're taking this very calm, cool, and collected. Oh, they're going to use that sound barrier. They want to win this fight. They're going to have time to really charge up for the next ones, and it looks like they will be able to clutch it out. They only had to use 2 ultimates to take that, but it was a long and scary fight at first. UG Black now pushing towards point B.
Nebs was late on the Dragon Blade, but he's not late to this part. He slashes up one of the defense. He's trying to set up now, going after the Mercy. Hey, I wasn't even set up. I'm not ready yet. She gets sliced up like sushi. Now the offense get to move forward just happily and peacefully. And guess who's on the card? It's Scorpion Zero. Doesn't even need to heal the rest of her team. But huge movement there for UG Black, who I'm surprised that Nebs sat on that Dragon Blade for so long, but it was at least to make it worth it to push that momentum forward here into the second phase.
Yeah, the Mercy Sashimi being served up on the silver platters. UG Black pushing their way on. It's going to be 148 until the next one. And looking at this offense, they have the Valkyrie, and this is going to be the self-destruct from the other side, and like putting right under the underpass. That was kind of necessary, but here comes the reply. That you putting it into self-destruct, you feel like you're safe to follow up on it, but that is absolutely not the case when they have a D.Va on the opposite side. Nebs working his way towards another Dragon Blade, and they just clean it up, just use one ultimate. It's a trade, but they're able to win it out here to point B.
Oh, Venus were really separated into that last fight. Their front line was chasing after players still onto the cart, where their back line was not able to provide enough healing, and also getting picked after that. Lizard Birdie already starting off with 2 picks into this final phase here of Gibraltar, where remember UG Black just barely got into point A with overtime. They get 2.5 minutes to make it done onto this side. Venus, what do you got in your strategy book? They got a Riptire. Let's take a look at what Adept's gonna find. Hovering over the wall, going here for a little flank. They hear it coming. Where's it coming? The Widow is trying to shoot it down, and it chases down the Widow and gets both the DPS players.
Man, we saw that route. That just looked like some other kind of game there, just on a platformer. I mean, but we're playing some Overwatch still, and it's going to net 2 kills from that. And anytime you can get at least 1 kill off of that Riptire to stifle the offense, that's going to be definitely worth it. There's already 2 minutes only left. The self-destruct from Kristen. Let's see where she decides to invest this, but they seem to have won the fight already. And Lemoness are setting up UG Black. Are they going to keep on this Widowmaker? They're just absolutely smothering her with all the damage of the dive.
Yeah, Venus are doing exactly what they need to do and prevent Lizard Birdie from getting set up. They know how just devastating that Widow is at picking off their support line and giving Marla a hard job of trying to shield the rest of her line here. But now they give UG Black a little bit of space. Or sorry, they give Venus here a little bit of space. Transcendence, a Dragon Blade, and a Sound Barrier on the board. As Nebs slicing up the feed here, trying to find some targets, and then all kinds of ultimates are going down. Look how separated everybody is around the payload. As the offense now still touching the card, they finally deal with the backline. Self-destruct being sent out into the backline, doesn't find any kills, but separates Marla from the rest of the team. They need to follow up and protect her. Healing is there. Offense burning so much time onto the clock, they switch mechanics onto an Orisa for more sustained shields. 1 minute remains. UG Black going for the full reset. See what they can do here into this next fight. Not a lot of time left.
Yeah, and they're continuing with this Widowmaker, but I mean, we're seeing just the fight going on, and it might be more here. UG Black not coordinating. You saw the Dragon Blade come in, and then the Winston ultimate as well. But just things like this, the Riptire, able to charge it up so quickly, able to deal with it here, though. I mean, just the offense. Look how the split up the fight is. The tanks are in the front line, and then just DPS are just trying to run to keep up.
Oh, here we got attack visor from Chubbs. He's right onto the high ground, gets over there from T-Smax, who unfortunately sacrifices the mech into the process. Doesn't really convert many kills after that. Kristen gets the final blow at the very end. The defense still struggling to make distance onto the cart. Defense brings out the Valkyrie. Double resurrect guaranteed there with Marla and Chubby Tubbs back into the fight. Self-destruct gets bubbled there from Marla, so no harm done. But the defense able to completely zone off UG Black. The time runs out. That last player was not able to touch the cart. Team Venus take Gibraltar 3-2.
And we have ourselves a game tied up 1-1. UG Black not able to really get to the end there. And we'll see the play of the game from Chubby Tubbs.
Ooh, oh, does he? Oh, sees the low health Mercy. Now going after the fortified Orisa, still getting the kill. Nice. Oh, and even shifts through the Lucio. Fantastic play of the game. And here are your cards. As kick tripod, my man John. What a Gibraltar we saw here. 3-2
What a
Venus come
Gibraltar.
back into the
Yeah.
series.
Wow, that was really exciting. A little bit more exciting than the last two rounds on Nepal, that's for sure. There was something that really stuck out to me here, though, and that was the Ungentleman's defense on point A. We saw the Orisa and the Torbjorn up there, and they kind of held it for a long time and then collapsed quickly. What do you guys make of that defense, Lemon?
Yeah, it was an interesting defense from UG Black. Like I said, they gave up 3/4 of point A. And I just think that they could have set up as a typical original defensive on top of car wash and then retreat into their secondary position there. Because I think that was kind of a wasteful 3/4 of giving up that point A. And at least they were able to win that team fight in the very end and force Venus to reset. But Venus still got the caps. So maybe trying out some new strategies here into scrims, but I'm not sure that was too successful.
Yeah, I definitely think it was definitely interesting. We used to see teams hold that way back in I'm thinking of the Rogue days pre-Orisa. They would sit way back there and they kind of really championed that defense. And I haven't seen that one for a while. So that was kind of really interesting. Something that we did notice though is that Venus kind of fell apart after they almost full held Ungentleman's there, Mushu. What did you see change between that push point and they basically just ran right through point B?
It was the dive. I mean, no Reaper, but I'm gonna stop saying. I keep saying that, and I think I'm clever. But actually, no, this is John's first time, so I'll give him the dive treatment.
You have to give him the joke. Yeah.
Yeah. We need one joke per new
Thank
host,
you.
and hopefully don't go through the host all the time, because then I will not say that all the time. But getting to your question, John, we saw work so well was the dive really showing up, and we didn't see the adjustment out of UG Black, and maybe it could have been a test. Lemon was talking about, yes, we understand it's a scrim, but you would expect to want to try to change it if it's not working. We saw Lizard Birdie on the back line constantly, but then getting harassed still, or the front line just pursuing too hard. The team was just kind of stretching itself apart. I do have to say, while Team Venus was very strong with their dive, they're pushing UG Black to put themselves in a position where they would not find success.
You brought up Lizard Birdie, and Lizard Birdie was definitely, I would say, the difference maker in round 3 on last map, but it seemed that Venus did a pretty good job at shutting her down. Lemon, was there anything in particular you saw them doing to change that? Because they're running virtually the same composition as before.
Yeah, Lizard Birdie was kind of left alone in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that the Venus were sending Kristen to dive the soldier with the tack visor. That's the main moment you want to try and stop, is to shut down that tack visor. Lizard Birdie, I felt maybe it wasn't as impactful during this Gibraltar as I thought they would be. And I think that's because they sent, was it Chubby Tubbs, I believe, that maybe started off as the Widowmaker for the offense and kind of getting the vision for them and getting the picks. So kind of a widow off at the beginning. But Lizard Birdie, I don't think, was able to set up onto the defense as much as they would like, especially into the final phase.
So we're going into Horizon Lunar Colony next. This is our third map. We're tied 1-1. Mushu, who do you think has the edge on this one based on what we've seen in these first two maps?
Well, based on the momentum, I would expect to see Team Venus continue to do well. Dive is something that works really excellently if the defense can't get set up optimally. You can have that high ground set up, you can have it on the point itself, but UG Black are not really, we've not seen them have the teamwork that we know UG Black to have. However, I will say this, is that if it might be that because of the map design that UG Black are forced to really play together optimally, right? Because there's just how the map design and how the space of it works. So we'll see if they shore up those weaknesses that we addressed about them being pulled apart just from the front line to the back line to where they weren't able to really synergize. If UG Black can do that, then they definitely have a fighting chance versus Team Venus.
Lemon, is there anything else that you think UG Black really needs to do differently if they want to take this map for Venus, who have the momentum right now?
It's I think these guys are so evenly matched. It's hard to really point out someone that they really need to target to shut the entire team down. I think this is a team effort from both these sides. And we talked about maybe shutting down Lizard Birdie from the side of UG Black. And I think what UG Black were doing right is focusing Marla down a lot in these early fights and taking out the main shield provider for the team, which opened up Lizard Birdie to picking off their backline, which Adiva is not able to take to Matrix for so long. So I think they were doing the right thing by focusing Marla as the shield provider, but equally all of Team Venus are putting their all in, and they're putting up a pretty good fight, and that was a really good Gibraltar map out of both these teams.
So do you think that we're going to see here, Mushu, Adept on his Junkrat again? You think we're going to see a little Houston Outlaws Jake thing going on here and just see a Junkrat all the way through the map?
I hope so. I mean, we can get some Jake memes in the chat. Jake lol.
Jake Rat.
Jake Rat. I love that whenever anyone plays Junkrat and they're popping off, we get the Jake Rat memes in the chat. So Adept, we'll see if I have full confidence in Adept. I think she can definitely bring the boom. You know what I mean? To put in the face of UG Black, but we'll have to see how quickly the Rip Tower will get charged up.
Definitely. Well, let's go ahead and get started on Horizon Lunar Colony. We have both teams going ahead and picking out their heroes now, so we'll go ahead and get into the match and get started.
Thank you very much. Yeah, go for it. Take it away.
Map 3, we're on the moon, or a colony close to the moon, that we can see the moon, or... Yeah.
I think we are on the moon, actually. So we're taking a nice look out the window.
You see that? Yes.
Yeah, we're perched on this wonderful giant rock that was once part of the Earth, believe it or not. According to science, could be fake news, who knows? But we have nothing to dispute it. But for the time being, it is our home for the next round in this best of 5. We're on game 3. We're tied up 1-1 here, Lemon. John talked about it, and I think he identified really the people we should be looking for. Adept with the Junkrat was very strong in previous maps. And there we go. Called it, says John.
Called
off screen. On the Junkrat.
Get on my level.
There we go. All that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I get an F on my Overwatch lore. You can tell
I'll sit back here and just guess. Just guess which heroes people are going to be playing. That'll be my contribution.
We're putting bets in.
Yeah, we'll go to webcam to see if he has the blindfold on to truly see if he's screen peeking.
Oh, jeez. Well, I guess you are screen sharing to him, so he's cheating.
That is true. That is true. But it will be, just to confirm for everyone back at home, Team Venus is going to be on the blue side. We have swapped sides for this team, so don't be confused. UG Black now still not black. They're red. A little bit closer, I guess, is lower in the L value. They'll be rolling out here with the old halt and hook. Lemon, I love the halt and hook.
Ooh. What we don't love is Tracer's going down in the first 10 seconds of the fight. Adept getting that first pick, and they do have the mercy to get the resurrect, but actually they're just going to burn that 10 seconds. Kind of just firing it into the shields here, and you can see this defense have this Orisa and Roadhogs with the halt and hook, as you did mention. And similar composition here for the offense. Junkrat's only on the side of the defense, where UG Black main shield breakers here are going to be Nebs with the far up into the sky, and not really any counter from the side of Venus unless Chubby Tubbs' turret can hammer her down from the sky, but UG Black are making their way forward, and this is going to be a battle of shields, it seems.
Yeah, and they're going to lose their shield a lot quicker. But Lizard Birdie now into the back line. That's taking out Marla. The shield's gone. So you talk about the shield battle. No shield's going to be present here for the rest of this time. For this fight, at least, as they're now starting to lose all of their resources. They really need to hunker down, maybe give up a tick if they need to regroup.
Oh, you can see UG Black are closing in on both these sides. Some on the left, some on the right. However this divides their team, Showtime is able to just zone or zoom across, and is actually not able to find a target. This bomb going down here for, I believe that was the offense. Moon Knight gets hooked. Fantastic hook from T-Smack. The offense still finding an opportunity to touch onto the point. Nebs opens up with the barrage. Gets pretty much eaten up by the fortification of Marla and the shield. But she is the last one remaining. And with only 2 survivors here for UG Black, they take the first point A.
And I mean, you saw the power of the Orisa on a defense on the point, but again, UG Black able to stream in, and Nebs getting to the ultimate faster than Adept was able to use the Riptire. An earlier Riptire definitely would have helped Venus on the defense, but it's definitely not the worst time. 6 minutes, it looks like a lot, but you get 4 off the flip. So we'll see UG Black. They only have the whole hog to work with. If they can get an early pick, then that would be really good. And who better than the Hookmaster himself with T-Smack on the hog?
I guess we haven't also talked about Venus running Sayumi on this Moira. So that was something we haven't really touched upon about. That's a support that's less used into this meta. Adept already opening up things for the defense with a double Riptire onto the DPS. And now following through with the kills. UG Black trying to disengage and not feed more into this. Tanks now not getting the memo that it's time to reset. Roadhog goes down. Mechanics now getting dove. Free ult charge there for Venus, and that was a great opening tire for Adept. UG Black now just burning a little bit of time on the clock, so plenty of opportunity as they have lots of ultimates on the board.
And they turned that early pick into an eco hold, if that's such a thing. I mean, you see them come back. They had the ultimate, it was kind of even on the ultimates, but they were just feel like they're in a better position at this point. But they do have the defensive and the support ultimates ready for the side of UG Black and approaching the rocket barrage. So we'll see when they decide to use that, as Marla is trying to just put up a lot of pressure here. It's about to boil over in this fight here, Lemon.
Huge opening rocket there from Nebs to find Adept onto this high ground. Now opening a chance here for the barrage. Gets completely shut down there from Tubbs, who gets taken out by the barrage and then resurrected. In the meantime, both support ultimates burned through Venus, along with being the Coalescence and the Valkyrie here from Moon Knight. So this does ultimately win them the fight. But UG Black were able to conserve a lot of ultimates into that last fight, mainly only using the barrage, which allowed Nebs to now switch onto the Tracer, which will be more effective into kind of disorientating the tanks from Venus.
And we'll see now. Nebs hiding out. And disoriented tanks, I mean, what about making some noise from under their feet and kind of turning them around, as Nebs is going to be back capping at this point. Diva becoming Kristen onto the point to reply, and already drawing out the recall. So now this is going to be the moment here for the tire. A lot of ultimates coming up both sides, but they're not able to get the kill onto this Tracer, and that means that now they need these to start to flip. They get the Mercies down from both sides.
There's some more ultimates here, burn from the defense. It's mainly the Deadeye and the Self-Destruct getting some kills for the defense, but UG Black really just burn through all their ultimates, mainly the whole hog, and pretty much everything on the board. They're stepping onto the point, only having almost 2 ticks now. Venus stepping onto the point, trying to make some noise. Adept here is still alive, feeding the grenades into Orisa. Finally gets hooked there from T-Smack, is not out yet. The support here of Sayumi coalescing through her teammates and ultimately winning them the fight, but almost 2 ticks here secured for UG Black.
Yeah, almost the key word. Oh, wait. Were they able to get the tick? Oh, no, it's just, that's the indicator for it. They weren't able to get the tick, but they got up to 64.8%. I'm looking for the 66.7 if you round up. As you should. Guys, come on, math
like
class.
Math.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like in math things. Lizard Birdie now, we see the swaps here, Lemon. To have the Soldier. I think it was on the Soldier before, but Nebs now onto the Sombra. What do you think of that?
It's very interesting. Maybe looking for an early EMP to get these shields down, mainly from Marla, which will maybe opening things up for their DPS players to get some picks into their backline. But now the defense will be onto the low ground, UG Black onto the high ground. So also the Zarya that got switch here from T-Smack. I think he was the Roadhog before. Looking also for the Graviton punish after that. So very interesting switches here from UG Black to try and adapt here. Nebs kind of playing that Tracer role on the Sombra. Getting invisible, stepping onto the point, disorienting the other team, forcing some divisions here for Venus. As we're still trying to find a possible target here. UG Black not really finding a window of opportunity.
They're not.
Really the tanks leading the charge.
And look at that, the only pick, even just getting rezzed right there. You talked about the opportunity. Lizard Birdie's been putting in the bullets from this side, but it hasn't gotten any of the kills. And now, not adding another kill, that's going to be the one on yourself. So that KDA going to be lowered yet again. Venus looking very strong here. When we talk about eco holds, 5, ultimate 6 now. They got the full house ready to go for Venus. And if they, again, it's about staying safe. So they want to probably use ultimates a little bit more than you would maybe normally would want to ration them out, because you have all of them already. You don't want to be put into a position where you lose the fight when you had 6.
You don't want to, they have the whole kitchen sink, the main point, they don't want to throw the whole kitchen sink at them. Starting off with Sayumi's Coalescence, just going to melt through the shield. This is a perfect way to use it. Already getting the kill onto one of their main tanks. Now just chasing down Nebs here onto the Sombra. So only losing their one tank, UG Black disengaging right away. However, 1 minute, we need to get this Reinhardt back quickly and engage immediately. Venus now really extending to maximize the amount of kills here. They got the Zarya and the Zenyatta down, burning some more time onto the clock, but this will be the last fight. UG Black lead into this next fight here. Pretty much 2 support ultimates, just 20% off for the Valkyrie, which will be earned. But look at this, T-Smack having this Graviton. Most likely maybe gonna pair it with EMP, so they have no shields, and then Lizard Birdie with Attack Visor. Should be some free damage here. This is the ultimate tri-combo. I'm just making things up, but I would just all press Q at once. EMP going in from Nebs.
Looking for it.
No shields for the defense. Looking for the Graviton, but the Transcendence is here for the offense to keep him going. Marlo with the Primal Rage to give her some extra health. Attack Visor here while the EMP is still going on, but really solidify their second tick.
No, and it's only the Sombra left. It's just all her on her own as Chubby Tubs continues to just wreak havoc. Getting the 3K there at the end. They had the setup, Lemon. You talked about it. That was the Holy Trinity, whatever you want to call it, the triple threat. But they got everyone in the Graviton Surge, but they didn't have the rest of ingredients. It just fell apart for UG Black on that attack. Venus able to hold it there. They kill 6 minutes for only 64%.
Venus now still have a tough task. It is hard to capture point B, and I will give UG Black plenty of props for getting almost 2. And they had quite a lot of tools to use. They even switched up their composition. They had the EMP Graviton Tac Visor. I don't know what you want to nickname that. The microwave trap visor. I don't know. I don't know what to call it, but every tool in the kit, and they couldn't build a house out of it.
That sounds like a really good name for the next generation's music. Microwave trap visor. It's like you have AR glasses, so you're not only experiencing the music through your ears, but through your eyes, through an augmented reality, and your eyeballs just getting microwaved. Microwave trap visor. Come on.
Oh my god.
That sounds a little bit gross, but you know, who knows? You know, kids in the future. You know, we're gonna be saying kids these days, eventually. So I have to wonder what's gonna be.
I still can't hear out of my eyes. What the heck?
We are still in the Stone Ages.
Well,
yeah. This is going to be Nebs, though, coming back onto see the Junkrat, trying to match Adept at this defense and try to pull that off a little bit better. And there's still an opportunity here, Lemon. UG Black could still hold this defense. This is definitely a very common one. You have the Orisa on the upper ground. You have a Junkrat around as well. Get your ultimate fast, blow him up with the tire. Some Road Rage on the moon. Before we get to that, we'll get into a quick pause. But Lemon, I guess, looking at this defensive composition, what do you think Venus have to bring to the table to counter it?
I think this pause is because Venus is checking their pulse because they're running quad tank right now, and I don't know if this is real life or not. But Venus are bringing to the table 4 very large tanks: Roadhog, Reinhardt, Diva, and Zarya, with the supports of not even a Mercy. It's going to be a Moira and a Lucio. So obviously the Lucio to provide them some speed boost, but I would think that they would at least need a Mercy for these resurrects. But
yeah. If you guys have seen, though, Overwatch League, this is a comp that was run by New York Excelsior versus Seoul Dynasty. Now, worked actually pretty well on the first push. The idea is just to be meaty and just be unkillable. You just outlast them on the point. But it was the Junkrat that really just killed it, and that's going to be a big kill. You don't want your healer to be one of the first kills.
Oh, now the fight is taking place here on the point. UG Black will now try and prevent this first take from going through. Hooks being exchanged here from Chubby and T-Smack. Chubby wins the Roadhog fight. Neb's also taking down the other tanks. So this is looking good here beside Venus. But the Resurrect's coming through for UG Black, meaning Venus will have to go for for a reset there. Because now they're assessing what kind of defense that UG Black have. Mainly, they want to deal with T-Smack. Once T-Smack's out of the way, this should be free to go.
And the key pick there was Moonide getting picked off on the Moira in the beginning, one of the first picks. She needs to be around to do the healing for the team, and so that's the only way that this works. I'm going to use the Lucio speed to get them back in, and on the way, trying to see if they can get any picks. They decide to go on the lower ground, but here comes the tire.
Oh, tire here from that's it. Oh, it's not even Adept.
Yeah, from
I
Nebs.
think every time I hear Tire, I think
Yeah.
it's Adept, but it's no, it's
Oh!
Nebs. The counterpart finds one of the supports, still very huge, and also gets the actual D-Mech there onto Adept.
Oh,
This fight
man.
will be taking place onto the low ground. Venus crumbling into their offense while having to disengage. What?
Oh
The triple?
my gosh.
What? It's the triple kill out of Nebs. He just won the entire team fight for his team.
Yep, and that's how you kill this composition. I mean, you get picks, and then the way to do that is you have just all the damage from the Junkrat. It does so much damage in space. Still, the nerfs haven't gone through that. They're talking about that concussion mine. It's still going to be as powerful and as big of a radius as it was before. And you talk about all this meat. It's going to get chunked down when you have nothing to replenish it.
Ooh, Mechanics drops down to the ground there for the defense, and they're not going to decide to engage after that. Too busy chasing down after everybody into the high ground. Quad tank still into effect here for Venus. They bring out the sound barrier. Extra health to this already large health tank pool, but they're not engaging as quickly as they would like. Finally stepping onto the point here. Marla's shield is low. Self-destruct sent out here from Adept. Able to find two, mainly Lizard, and the Mora is down. Do they have any supports left? Not really. Showtime has the Valkyrie, but not here for the fight to get any resurrect that they need. Huge kills out of Venus.
Yeah, I mean, another clutch ultimate out of Adept that I keep missing on the camera. I mean, it's just how it has been going all day today. And again, it's about the boom. Adept knows how to put those bombs in the right place. Then we moving on. They got 5 minutes to work with, a little bit less, but only 66%. And this is all about the momentum. This quad tank composition. They're already past 1 tick, Lemon.
Oh, Mechanics couldn't step onto the point to prevent the 1 tick. So at least now pushing onto the point here. Showtime has to bring back Lizard. The arrow shatter from Marla doesn't get anything. However, Venus still trying to capitalize on the situation. Both supports down, main tank, and soon the cleanup to follow. However, Kristen does earn the Graviton here for the next fight, and UG Black hold on for now. But remember, Venus only have to get 2 ticks to win this, so this was a little bit too close for comfort for UG Black.
Yeah, and it's about the momentum. You're coming off of that first push, that first defense, and you're just like, all right, what are we going to set up? We're going to change anything? Or like, oh, they're on a point. They're at 1 tick. Kind of what happened there, but now UG Black have a second to breathe. But for how much longer? We have to see where Venus decides to enter. And that Graviton Surge, like you mentioned, is going to be a big one. They can pull him off the point. They put him in the right spot where they can't contest it. We'll have to see where they place that Graviton Surge.
Oh, they sniped Kristen.
Okay.
No.
Caster's Curse?
No. Yeah, and that's the whole point of Mora is great
Oh,
for
boy.
that group healing, but not great to resurrect your tanks when they get sniped in the forehead like that early in the fight.
My goodness.
But mainly the thing we want to talk about as well is Chubby Tub switching onto the Genji. I think they really want to set up this Graviton Dragon Blade or see what kind of impact and extra DPS can do for the fight, and they have so much into the bank for their ultimates coming into the next fight. But tell me about this change here from the defense. We got T-Smack on this Reaper.
Yeah, I mean, one way to chew through the tanks is you use that Reaper, just the Hellfire shotguns, and you have that ultimate as well. They're going to want to stay grouped to get this group for healing, but if you're grouping for damage, that works well for the opposite team. Oh!
Here comes the Death Blossom, and it slices through, or actually gets reflected back at him. The Graviton and the self-destruct there from Adept. Explosions all over the place. Venus are the ones standing strong and get the second tick here on Lunar Colony to lead the series against UG Black. What an amazing Lunar Colony push here from Venus.
Team Venus landing all the shots, and I mean, they got picked off early, so in the last fight, but they come back and they look so much stronger. Just what a flop from UG Black, unfortunately. I mean, just really great play as we see here, of course. It's the power of the Mercy. They're able to hold this first defense. This is what allowed them to really pursue it out, and surely they would have lost that had it been, you know, had they not had that Mercy there. So, but still, they still go down after that.
Yeah, I just wonder if that Reaper saw the Genji when he
Yeah.
dropped down as the Death Blossom, because that's a huge... You would not want to drop that down unless you 100% communicated with your team that the Reflect was on cooldown.
Yeah, that's a good question. As we're going to see the map score now updated to 2-1, and we'll be welcoming back our resident host, John. How's it going, man?
Hi guys. Wow, another another pretty amazing one here. There was Adept. Can we just talk about Adept for a second? Because this seems like two maps in a row where they've really been the difference maker for their team. Would you say that that tends to be the case, Lemon?
Huge huge difference maker. These rip tires, I'm even getting confused when there's a rip tire.
Yeah.
I thought it was Adept, but it was actually Nebs bringing out the tire as well. And I think this matchup between Nebs and Adept is pretty close, but Adept is just able to flex onto so many roles. You've seen her onto the Junkrat, and now you're seeing her taking on the Diva role with the self-destruct at the very end. Just mwah.
It is a masterpiece. Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting to see Venus's first defense. They set up on the point and they busted out. We've seen the Orisa Torbjorn twice now. Are you guys digging that defense on the point? Orisa Torbjorn, is that something that you think might be meta pretty soon? Are we going to see that in Overwatch League?
I mean, well, that quad tank was something that we've seen from a couple different teams. Like I mentioned NYXL versus Seoul for that really big matchup, but I know that's something that I think Outlaws ran it as well for their offense. But Torbjorn Orisa, it's all about keeping that alive, and I think teams know how to attack that well enough. So you need to have like a half dive, half Torbjorn Orisa shield to distract you from the turret. So it's like, do I go after the turret and probably die, or do I try to kill the other heroes, try to get a pick, and then do the turret? So it makes it really tough to try to figure out how to prioritize that. Would I expect at pro play probably would be tougher to run something like that.
I think they countered it pretty well. They had the Torbjorn set up right in the middle of the point and the shield at the very front. So I think it was UG Black or whichever team it was, came in from both sides. And I think probably sent the self-destruct in, which ended up taking care of the turret right away. And the rest of the team, I think that Torbjorn turret, I didn't even notice it because that's how little of an impact it had into that defense.
Something that was really interesting. We're getting ready to go on Eichenwald here, but I just want to insert a fun fact here. Neb's rip tire on defense, 29 seconds to charge.
Oh my goodness.
So
Statman, give him a raise.
Yeah.
There you go. That's my knowledge that I can bring to the table. I thought that was killer, but in the end, it was a great one. We are now 2-1 in favor of Venus, if I remember correctly.
That's correct.
So yes. So let's go ahead. We're jumping into Eichenwald right now, just finishing assembling our heroes, and it doesn't look like we're going to see Lizard Birdie on that Widowmaker this time.
Yeah, we've seen the picks coming in, and we've now swapped back UG Black back in the blue. We should just change their name depending on what color they are. You know what I mean? That might be something we do in the future.
Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, we talked about, the Junkrat play. Here, Lemon, we see the defense rolling out. UG Black onto the field. They have the Junkrat. Nebs really stepping it up on that first point. It fell apart later on. But we'll see. What do you think about this Junkrat pick again onto Eichenwald? Point 1.
Just Junkrat is such a punishing player, really a good anti-dive character, and also able to shield break whatever the offense is going to bring, either a Reinhardt or maybe going full dive. Or if they bring in Orisa, Nebs can deal with all of those situations. Lizard Birdie, however, on this McCree, I don't think we've seen him or have seen much of Lizard Birdie onto this McCree. So this will be great if they expect a Pharah. So they know that Adept brought out the Pharah on Nepal, and that's exactly what she's locking in again. So Lizard Birdie will have the task of taking care of her, which I believe was able to, in the last time she's brought out some barrages. An early first pick there from Mechanics, taking out Marla, but Moon Knight is able to go for the Resurrect, burning that cooldown already. But this is going to be a shield battle between these two teams. Chubbies, again, goes down for the offense.
And this is what happens when you have dive versus an Orisa in a choke point. Oh, you're just going to get pulled and halted and hooked. You don't even need the halt there, as it will halt their attack. The defense, UG Black, using their abilities and cooldowns to their advantage, and even just trying to go for more picks. But look how safe they are behind this Orisa shield, pretty much covering up that entire archway.
Yeah, you can tell Chubby is going to be working an opportunity to go for a back cap and maybe bring back this positioning of UG Black so they can get past this Orisa's shield. And fortunately, then Marla got hooked. I think while she was shot calling and trying to strategize in their huddle in the team call, she didn't notice she was maybe a little bit exposed and got hooked there. But you can see Chubby's making his way to the point, open up an opportunity, as I did say, but now the team will be following through. This dive is initiated here from Marla, has a Discord orb, and it takes all that damage, but Moon Knight has to bring out the Valkyrie. Deadeye from the sky from defense, picks off a depth from the sky, and a whole hog for the defense, pushing off any reinforcements.
And that's a whole lot of trouble for sure, and they're going to continue to push off, but the kills are starting to fall their way, and they have the Mercy still here. So that means that even though they just lost so many people and so many ultimates were coming out from UG Black, they're just able to get back attackers' advantage. And again, that spawn a lot closer to them. Plus, Moon Knight never really went down, so they're able to just clean it up here as Mechanics tries to go for the last minute hero play. 400 HP doesn't look like a lot when you have rockets in your face.
Yeah, a little bit of feeding there, and now they'll be able to maximize that distance. Mainly want to focus on pushing in top castle, where that Orisa is going to be setting up. And now that they have the Orisa down, this would be good to take advantage of preventing that setup. Adept finding that tire there from Nebs. Crucial play to keep this offense momentum going. Adept moving into the high ground, putting some rockets into the support, but it's Lizard Birdie. Picks off the front line and the back line.
Yeah, I mean, great picks there, but now Lizard Birdie onto that Widowmaker. We've seen him do so well, and this is a great spot for Widowmaker on attack and defense, kind of this neutral ground between the two, the attackers and between the defenders, but the sightlines is what is most important at this point. You get one pick, it's just really going to make it hard for the opposite team. So Venus, they're running the dive, though. They have the answer to this, and, you know, if you're not looking and watching for this Zenyatta, if you're not looking for, say, Yumi, you might drop to some orbs.
Offense have a lot in their ultimate bank, mainly not really having the Valkyrie, but at least they have the Transcendence. But they really don't want to get picked there from Lizard Birdie, who's having some sights onto them, and I think just activated her vision just now. So knowing where Venus are going to be pushing, having Tracer here onto this payload. But look at Nebs, sneaky little Tracer player is waiting for a support. It's going to go after a Depth who eats a rocket. So this Tracer from the defense will have to disengage as the offense now joins them on the high ground, jumping back onto the low ground. Primal Rage is going to be chasing down Lizard Birdie, and this should guarantee them a kill. No, that Widow's able to escape.
Yeah, and the self-destruct will go out onto the point as well. The point is starting to move, and so we see it going under this underpass and this bridge, but the battle lines are still set as Mechanics finds himself just in the back line. We'll be taking down the Zenyatta. That was actually kind of a close battle, and we still see the attackers. They are starting to reinforce here. Team Venus using the point as another shield on top of the one that they have from the Winston.
Pushing this payload forward here. At least they got Lizard Birdie out of the way. Pulse bomb, self-destruct, all the nukes here onto the payload. Chris unfortunately gets demech in the process, so going in with 1.5, make that 0.5 of a tank. As the offense still deciding to push forward here, Adept is able to deal with some of these tanks, but Lizard Birdie here in this backline is going to have free range to just shoot through these players onto the payload as long as they can find some cover here behind the payload. Mechanics just looking for a target, but the Transcendence will guarantee some safety here for the players onto the payload before their tanks return.
Yeah, some safe patches thanks to that Transcendence, and that's going to be enough to push packs up to Lizard Birdie. You saw how much they had to invest to try to get up to the Widowmaker, and that's exactly the strength of the Widowmaker under this point. But now they have that the Mercy up above for the defense, just for the time being, as Moon Knight will be taken down, so the Mercy not available for the side of the attack, and that might signal that this might start petering out. If they can kill this Mercy, that'd be pretty big.
Now it's just the tanks that are left, and the Primal Rage from Marla is going to bat these last couple tanks from the defense away, but total disengagement from these two tanks. Marla's batting away the back line, has no reinforcements. Kristen's trying to go out with a mech intact, is able to get away with her life. Marla just kind of feeding there at the very end. Free ultimate charge for UG Black. As 1 minute 14 remain. Venus on a bit of a time crunch going in through the back door of the castle. Be joining in through the high ground. This will be a battle of the high grounds here, and Mechanics getting out of that situation. Lots of ultimates here on the board for the offense, mainly looking at Adept to maybe open up things onto the high ground with attack visor. Self-destruct here from the offense, should be zoning out, at least getting into DMech onto T-Smack, which it does, and the attack visor in effect.
Yeah, the attack visor seemed to be negated by the Transcendence on the point, but that was Lizard Birdie. It's trying to hold the point from being pushed and was completely caught out, and so they'll be able to push this along. 30 seconds left to go. UG Black should be able to contest this if they choose to do so, but that late pick onto Mechanics is definitely going to hurt.
It's going to hurt, and maybe it will hurt if they don't get this point B defense. T-Smack jumping in. Oh, at the very last second, 1.8 meters. This self-destruct will get bubbled away, I believe. And the defense now getting the kills in their favor. Mainly the DPS down for the offense. Can Moonlight go for a resurrect? The tanks are now demech. The Mercy is down. Venus will have to try this again. Just kidding. 5 seconds left. This is over here for Venus. And they'll walk away with only the first point capture.
The first point and just about to knock the doors. The wooden door will be saved. We save some cost here on our Overwatch production. We don't have to rebuild the door between each round. I mean, it's nothing really that compares to the mechs that we were destroying by Phoenix Diva, especially on both sides, and for them charging that self-destruct as fast as possible. But we'll be held right before point B. And Lemon, I think a big part of that, we're talking about Lizard Birdie on the Widowmaker, seemed to make his mark on that hero.
Oh, especially on the bridge area. Lizard Birdie had so much free reign. As soon as they got they were focusing down Marla and Kristen onto the Diva. It was just open season for Lizard Birdie. So that was a part of the map that player was able to shine quite a bit, making it very hard for Venus to make some distance happen, especially at that point. But Venus will now be jumping onto the defense. So we can maybe expect this maybe a halt and hook from Marla and Kristen. And now a combination of Junkrat from Adept, one of her solid picks, and Chubby now bringing out the Soldier instead of a Tracer pick that he's picked before.
Yeah, Chubby Tubbs had some pretty clutch plays, but hasn't had the effect we've been expecting from him on the Soldier. And Adept, of course, making her mark felt with the explosions, but the hit scan hasn't really been landing yet, so we'll see. Depending on the defense, they'll have a shield to work from behind. As a Soldier, running around and making your own cover from the walls around you can be really difficult to make, so this defensive positioning might do better for Chubby Tubbs to really step it up.
I'm excited for this push from UG Black. They have to get just the knock at the door at the castle to secure this win. And in case you guys are new to the stream, 2-1 series advantage here for Venus. As either this is a best of 1,000 or maybe best of 5.
We'll just say best of 5 for now, plus extra innings.
Plus, yeah, extra innings. I like that. I like that. And as the doors will unlock, UG Black will be advancing here with the full dive, Lizard, and then literally full dive with the Tracer and Genji. Zenyatta Mercy, as meta as it gets. Making their way through the left side here. Venus will be meeting them onto the point. A little tea and crumpets. Mainly the kills onto Showtime and Adept will start out the fight.
Yeah, they got picks both ways, but now UG Black have made their way on into it. They used the walls, like I was talking about before, the cover to help them get into the point. That would be a big pick if they can get that Mercy. She falls so low, but they can't even finalize the kill. Moon Knight does eventually fall, though. UG Black onto the point, but they're starting to lose the numbers. T-Smack, the last one alive there.
Yeah, it's cleanup time. Venus will win the first fight, and only really using, I believe, Zenyatta. They're Sayumi on the Zenyatta early in that fight. And what do you think really costed UG Black that first momentum push? I mean, they started off with the first pick. Why couldn't they make things happen?
Yeah, it's about the rotation onto the point. You saw Venus fall back together as a unit, as a squadron, and as when Mechanics is jumping in like he is right now. Sometimes you go a little bit too aggro. That's going to be now Chubby Tubbs with that tactical visor onto the lower ground this time, and now this is going to be making the impact. This defensive positioning helping him out quite a bit, landing the damage.
Oh, they have to use the Valkyrie, at least bringing Diva back into this fight. Showtime goes down, and unfortunately they invest the Valkyrie into a losing fight. Now Neb's into this fight here with possibly the Dragon Blade, but he's gonna die quickly with it. But still good ult build up for the offense going into the next fight. Both DPS ultimates earned, and possibly the Transcendence here for Showtime, as Venus have burned through their own Valkyrie, but Adept will be looking to earn that Riptire, just ripping it away and see if they can maybe start off with that double kill that she usually likes to get. I think we saw that in Nepal. Adept can really throw a wrench into the offense. We'll see how UG Black are going to assess this next situation.
They have a lot of tools. They're both DPS ultimates, but again, it's about finding the damage. And Adept now just earning that Riptire on the back line, and even Sayumi with the Transcendence as well. They have a lot to hold this if they decide to do so. And the early kill onto Lizard Birdie is not going to help out either. They lose both their DPS, both people who had the ultimates.
Oh, they got cornered there, and the Transcendence from Venus allowing them to stay alive and eat through a lot of the damage UG Black were giving to them. Kristen even brings the whole hog for the finishing touches.
Why not?
I think that's the Tracer's still trying to get away. Yeah, I think also that a Tracer went down early in the fight there for UG Black. So kind of cutting their damage in half, relying on Nebs to open things up, who still did not choose to invest the Dragon Blade, knowing that maybe this wasn't a guaranteed team fight, knowing how important that ultimate really is. Going to this next fight with not really any changes, but maybe a change in strategy is needed.
60 seconds.
You see that's the challenge of dive into Orisa, and they're going to be starting out here with the self-destruct. This is going to be the zoning. This is really much what Team Venus did in reply, but also they're going to still act like themselves. Adept getting the kill onto exactly who they needed. That Dragon Blade is going to be just shut down, run over by the Riptire, as now we see the defensive team starting to take position onto the point. They have the trades, but they're just completely surrounding them. Adept now in the back line, able to get the damage, but falls. This might be the moment here for UG Black.
30 seconds.
Well, they're secured all the ticks they need, but let's talk about that hook tire to shut down Nebs. It's not a rip tire, it's a hook tire. Kristen was hiding in the little room and is able to hook Nebs out of the Dragon Blade, and then the rip tire came in from Adept at the perfect moment. He still was able to slash away the Mercy, so still a very important kill that ended up, although he got destroyed quite after. But UG Black solidifying that first capture with, it took them a lot more time than Venus did, but this bridge phase is going to be their main, or their most difficult task at breaking down. So UG Black will be setting up onto the payload and not really having many mobile characters. At least mainly the Orisa won't be able to join them onto the high ground. So you can see they're playing onto the payload, sending Nebs to maybe cause some havoc onto the high ground, where Venus now finding a moment to drop onto the payload.
Yeah, they're dropping him from behind. This might be a little bit risky, though, because you don't have to push too far, but that's an early pick. Scorpion Zero goes down for UG Black, so now you start to see everyone falling accordingly, but Lizard Birdie takes down 2 before he goes down himself. Now just the tanks to clean it up. Team Venus look like they should be able to hold here, but they have to invest the Valkyrie in that.
Just grenading everybody away from the payload. Valkyrie is able to bring back 1 member, but slashing through here, Nebs finding Adept, going after the Mercy. That was a huge play for the offense. Now, Resurrect's going through. They have pretty much all the members back into this fight. Lizard Birdie, you can see, is setting up onto the high ground, getting ready for the Deadeye in case there's one more push out of Venus. The yellow box of victory is there. Marla is able to stop the fight. Nebs brings out the Dragon Blade to cut through the backline, which forces out the Transcendence. All the ultimates are being dumped into this fight. Mainly, Adept, a huge tire to bring down, but it's this Deadeye again from the high ground that we pointed out. Lizard Birdie was waiting for it. Now only 2 members and 0 members remain for Venus as UG Black bring the payload home and even up the series.
What a finish! You saw Nebs going in, and the Dragon Blade didn't look effective, but it just discombobulated the team enough to where they split up, and it gave the space to Lizard Birdie at the end. But of course, we're going to see this Dragon Blade from Nebs.
Oh, this is Sushi Master 101. Here's the cue. Oh, actually, it's just the shurikens. Is this even Dragon Blade? No,
yeah, maybe not even. This is just...
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
That's a tease. He had it and doesn't even decide to use it. And we pointed out how conservative Nebs was with the Dragon Blade. As soon as he knows that it's a losing fight, does not invest it, does not make that mistake, and that's very smart.
Oh man, we're gonna score this 2-3 for UG Black. But John, we're all tied up.
Yeah, I mean, dang, I thought we were done here. That was a just a really strong defense. Only 25 seconds left on point A before UG Black finally powers through there at the end. Bushu, who is the difference maker here for you?
I mean, we saw Lizard Birdie start to come alive in the last map on Horizon Lunar Colony, right? Or Watchpoint especially, but really coming alive here on Eichenwald. Those long sight lines really benefiting the playstyle around a Widowmaker, but then on the McCree at the end, just kind of mixing it up on that hit scan. Lizard Birdie really stepped it up and helped UG Black maintain just their consistent pushing through on the payload.
And that Deadeye at the end from him, I think he took out one of the supports and Marla onto the Winston. So that was a deal breaker, Lizard Birdie, that last Deadeye.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see something that we saw too a little bit. We saw some miscommunication between the supports, honestly, on both teams. Do you guys think that in the end that might have been the difference maker for Team Venus to lose this one?
before again, actually, sorry. We are just courting
yeah,
the. Yeah, go ahead and take a lemon because we are trying to figure out this last map here.
Okay, so for Team Venus, maybe some miscommunications. I think we noticed Marla getting hooked. I think not that she was AFK, but remember we talked about how I think they're in a huddle meeting right now because they had lost the first team fight, and Marla was in a position where she was able to get hooked and ended up feeding the other team and then further delaying that. So miscommunications on a little bit that, and also Chubby Tubbs a few times was getting picked as the tracer and just kind of costing a little bit of delays for the team. And that's kind of like the risk of running tracer. You're so low health and you try to open up the opportunity for the team and end up risking your life for just a little bit of space that you can create for the back cap, forcing the defense to retreat or maybe miss position in that case. So I thought it was still very close. Team Venus were at the knock of the door of the castle. What was it, like 1.68 meters
it was really
away?
close.
I don't really consider that a huge loss. It was just really close, and a really nice stall out of UG Black at the end there.
So we're heading into Lijiang Tower right now, and it's been pretty clear that when we see UG Black shut down Adept, Venus really has trouble adapting. If you're going into this one, how are you adapting? I know, tongue twisters, right? If you are UG Black here, how are you looking to shut down Adept, Mushu?
Ooh, UG Black. I mean, gotta kill the rest of the team first or find out where Adept is and get the picks. And it's going to be, especially Lijiang, a lot of big skybox for most of these except for Night Market. So we'll see where Adept decides to go in terms of the hero pick, but UG Black looking to Lizard Birdie, actually, the hit scan for UG Black to answer.
Yeah, I think the 4-letter word for how to deal with Adept is Nebs. He's usually her counterpart on either Junkrat, Pharah, either playing the hit scan to deal with Adept if she's on Pharah or whatever. I think Nebs has been the perfect counter and matchup against her that's been either dealing with her most of the time for the team.
For sure. And looks like, I guess just do a quick pause here so we have a little bit more time to check it out. But yeah, thanks again, everyone, for joining us here for this longer stream than usual.
My legs are starting to hurt, Mushu.
Yeah. Oh no.
I need to get the
up.
circulation going. You know, they have these bikes that go under your desk and you can just kind of pedal them. I think I need one of those.
While gaming?
Yeah. That'll be the first thing that I ask for the next time I get a desk job is just, that or the Dwight Schrute yoga ball, power ball.
Oh God.
Yeah.
All right, we're going back into it.
Okay, no, I like that idea. Someone's was doing bike streams, they're gaming while they're
playing
biking.
Pokemon while on the treadmill. I saw a streamer do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's a good distraction though from the gaming. But now going into this fight, speaking of being distracted, huge double boop. Lizard Birdie Showtime out of this fight, and soon to be the rest of UG Black. As Venus strike for his blood here onto Ilios, and it's looking good here. Who can stop Adept? I guess nobody.
Yeah, Adept's answering and adapting first before UG Black kind of said, I know what you're going to try to do. Oh, and even getting the direct shot. Is there anything Adept can't do? No, that's all right. No, you're a crowd. You're our crowd response, because we're here in the arena. Yeah.
Like I said, I thought Nebs would be the direct counter to Adept, but Adept is the counter to Nebs, and no one can counter her, and she's the best. So already with 3 kills in the first 30 seconds of the game. It hasn't even ended yet. Even the supports are getting in on the kill feeding here. But UG Black making a little bit of space here, and they will be able to recuperate their Zenyatta, maybe work towards building some ultimates, having a little bit more tools in the kit, and getting towards the left side where they can hide a little bit from Adept's rockets.
Yeah, absolutely right. Moving to the left side, definitely the smart call, but now they're just exposed. They're all wrapped up here in Chubby Tubbs, so close to that, the pulse bomb. And so now just earning the tactical pulse bomb. I mean, it is going to be tactical. It's going to be tactical, and they have to stick. As Lizard Birdie, you want Lizard Birdie to try to shoot the Pharah, but you can't do it when he's dead.
Oh, Ooh, fat pulse bomb there on the Lizard Birdie, but the stun was able to get the trade to go through. Venus still holding strong onto the point here, but now moving on to the left side to completely trap UG Black, not giving them any way to exit. As everything is happening. 12 people in this tiny room. There's got to be some kills going on. Mainly the Transcendence for Venus comes out. Now Sayumi gets picked off right after it. Goes down. Adept also the star player here. Far goes down, so this should be UG Black's opportunity to push here into the point. The self-destruct just temporarily zones off the reinforcements, but UG Black are here to shine. Nebs with the triple kill, make it at least onto 1.5 kills. But nonetheless, UG Black retake the point.
Yeah, both teams throwing pretty much everything but the kitchen sink, and the kitchen sink in this case is the Deadeye from UG Black's Lizard Birdie. We'll have that ready for the next time, and that's a pretty good ultimate to take care of Afar, who's up in the sky. We'll see when Lizard Birdie decides to unleash this and tell us what time it is, even though we know it's already in the evening.
Yes, at high noon, but the Dip must also have some kind of awareness that this Deadeye might be in the sky, and also Mercy has to be out of sight in case this does go on, and I believe this will be a really effective ultimate. It'll be up to D.Va to really dive this Deadeye, but look at mechanics. Look at both these Winstons going off in this Primal Rage. Double kills for both. Adept securing the kill onto the final Winston there, as Venus looking to retake the point with 92-93%. UG Black, can they respond here? They have only T-Smack, who's going to be heavily staggered. Now they have to go into this next fight without a tank. Can even go into this next fight with stalling this overtime. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they just have everyone onto the point. They did have the Winston on it, but now they're just trickling in. Just no shields available as Lizard Birdie will die to Adept, the person that's supposed to be killing her on the Pharah. She just stays far above the fray to stay safe.
Lizard Birdie still hasn't used the Deadeye. They might lose this without Lizard Birdie actually saying high noon that we were waiting for it. Venus strike for his blood here onto Ilios, 100-37, quite the gap in the scoreline. UG Black were not able to adapt and counter Adept, and when they did, Venus were still able to hold on with Marla bringing out the Primal Rage and keeping their front line alive.
And that's what happens when you don't adapt to the Pharah. You kind of sometimes need more. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. We've how many jokes have we killed here?
I think if I took a drink every time you said the adapt joke, I'd probably be intoxicated.
That's probably true, but I won't comment on any more of that because I had a rebuttal that would be good, but it's not. Yeah, Sobercast only. We'll see there. You guys gonna spam some emote in the chat if you want us to do a Intoxicast, because it has a cool name. I mean, Intoxicasting. I mean, it sounds kind of cool.
Oh, Intoxicasting, Drunk Watch. Ooh. So many opportunities, but
Drunken Watch. Yeah.
Would not recommend. I can't trust this will be a PG-13 stream. It'll probably end up rated R.
Yeah, rated R, just like these Reinhardt's, because their name starts with R, but it's gonna get tossed right into the wall, losing that shield battle because Mr. German Engineering is not going to be on the field at the time.
Reset for UG Black, losing one of their main tanks. Now Nebs is down. Venus will get the first capture here on the control center, and now leading here on Ilios. Remember, guys, this is map 5. There's a lot of pressure here on UG Black's shoulders. They cannot give up this map whatsoever. But the first fight, not that big a deal. Both Reinhardt's going down, and then the punish coming through. Venus will now try to hold on to its momentum. UG Black will now moving through this hallway, building through some ultimates. Nebs sitting on the Riptire.
Yeah, Nebs is going to get to the upper ground too, just checking behind, putting the trap down. Here comes the Riptire. Yeah, this is going to be coming to the back line. What can he find? Oh! Gets taken out. Yeah, gets taken out, but before it can do any damage. But the Graviton is ready to go for T-Smack. But Venus already just cascading down. They were relying on the Riptire to get a pick, and it did not. So that means UG Black will be having to go back to the drawing board yet again, Lemon. And they're running out of markers.
Ouch. Yeah, that Riptire was destroyed there from Adept, so not countering Adept as much as he would want. And even the Coalescence coming out from Sayumi was able to melt through any shield, so not even your backline is protected in that case. And very interesting that Venus are deciding to stay by the point and not actually push up and hold the choke point near the spawn door. But this will now give UG Black a little bit of breathing room, moving into the hallway. Looking for T-Smacks, also his Graviton here onto the offense. Attack Visor's now into effect onto the high ground. So of course Venus is disengaged. The Riptire here from Venus to answer back, able to get Scorpion, but now it forces out the Transcendence. The Earthshot is not going to stop that. And the retake comes in from UG Black after everything in the kitchen sink is thrown.
And they're still holding on to the Earth Shatter as well, so definitely good push. And even the Valkyrie ready to go. They flip it, but 85% is looking a little bit scary here for Team UG Black. They need everything to go right for them. And one way to do it would be to land a good Earth Shatter. So we'll see if Venus is privy to this.
Marla also has to be aware, as the other Reinhardt, that an Earth Shatter is going to be on the other side. She just used hers. Needs to keep her shield up. Needs to keep her line protected behind her. You can see Chubby Tubbs here on this McCree. Looking for the Deadeye here up top. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But it's actually the Riptire from Nebs that comes out and slams down 3 kills. So this Deadeye's not going to be able to do much. And actually, he gets 1 kill onto the Zenyatta, but now nothing left for Venus after Nebs' enormous tire to make up for his failed first try, which will give UG Black again a little bit of breathing room. If Venus would have won that fight, they're at 85%. It would have been maybe game over here at map 5.
And they have to switch it up. We see Chubby Tubbs onto the Genji and Adept now switching away from the Junkrat onto the Tracer. They want to get back to the point. I mean, they're not really super pressured. It's still 50%. They got maybe 2 fights left, but they keep getting picked off. Nebs with another kill onto Moira.
Well, Sayumi goes down with the Coalescence, as you did say, and now only having 1 support by their side here is Moon Knight. These tanks, oh, Kristen gets pinned there. Mechanics swinging him away, but he actually goes down and he gets punished for that. Kristen was so low and finally gets demeched in that case, so tanks down for both these sides. T-Smack still alive here as the Zarya, looking for the Graviton, but all sorts of ultimates up for the side of UG Black. And if you're Venus, this is not good. They're close to retaking the lead here. So I'm talking about UG Black are very close to retaking the lead here. Venus going to this next fight will only support ultimates.
And they have Adept going around on the flank, though, so we'll see how fast Team Venus can push up here and make space for the Pharah on the side. As we'll see the rest of the tanks. This is now going on to full dive. They're going to the back line. This might be able to find something here.
Yeah, they need to go now. All of the support ultimates coming out. Mechanics is completely singled out here. It's completely out of it. Graviton trapping all these members, and it's Lizard Birdie coming out with Attack Visor. So many ultimates here onto the board, and even Valkyries in the sky. At the end of this war, UG Black stand tall. Overtime dwindling down. Venus, after being up by so much, are now going to lose this second map here of Lijiang Tower. I don't know why I said either. The Lijiang Tower. And we head into map 3 of this game 5. Venus just a shred away from taking this victory.
And now the back's against the wall. Venus looks so good going into that, but the switches didn't help solve it. UG Black came in, planted themselves on that control tower, and just able to fight them off. Didn't even give it up once. Now Venus, the pressure's on them, really. UG Black have the momentum. They know how to work within the space, and this next spot looks a lot closer to Control Center than the Guardians, or I guess that's arguable. But we'll see how they decide to go. We'll be bringing the Orisa Mechanics. Oh, they're going back to the Reinhardt fit. Still keeping the shield though on the tank.
I might have choked on water.
Okay. You get it? All right, we'll keep going. We'll keep it going then, because Lizard Birdie now on the flank. We'll see Venus coming up from behind on the back doors. Will be them getting position onto the point first. But we've seen Venus strike back. We've seen the venom of this Venus, and just though one of the biggest players is Adept. So we'll see if the rockets can be landed. But Kristen already taking it into her own hands with the Diva kills. You good? So we'll be Team Venus taking the first point, and a lot of it with the rockets Adept, and of course Kristen really opening it up on the Diva play. We'll see. Now it's going to be UG Black. They're fighting from behind again, but we've seen this before. We've seen UG Black try to be able to battle back up to 80% and then not give it up after that. Early pick onto Adept though. Showtime onto the back line, but it's going to be draw out the Resurrection. But who else is on the back line? It's going to be Chubby. He goes onto the back, and this is going to find the Zenyatta. Gets one swipe down, gets the second, but gets taken out before can finalize the kill. But who else to follow up other than Adept? As they're starting to now, they already have the capture on the position onto the point itself, because Team Venus still have the possession, and it has not been enough for UG Black. They invest a lot. They get some early picks, but thanks to the Valkyrie, Moon Knight gets another charge, and another charge means that Venus stay alive on the point.
My ultimate is charging.
I'm back.
All right, you're back. We're there for a second. All right, well,
I was
anyways.
eating the Heimlich. No, it's okay. I totally apologize for my absence.
That's
I was
okay.
actually done. But
Sorry, I mean,
Someone's
nothing.
gonna make me do it.
what did I miss, Mushu?
Well, you missed a good push by UG Black, and now they're going to be pushing again. Venus, we've seen this before in FAP 2, is going to start off with a good Earth Shatter, but they've kind of opted themselves into this fight here. They're starting to get the Transcendence. They should be able to clear off the point quite safely.
Well, it should be an easy retake there from UG Black. All the kills onto the board. Venus at least start this off and even are able to stagger this, or sorry, stall this to 91, 92%.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So at least if they're able to win this next fight, they could walk away with this Game 5 victory. And they have a couple of tools in their kit, but mainly UG Black have to play a perfect Lijiang Tower game if they want to hold on to this victory.
You know, I mean, they have some tools to work with, but they don't have anything to negate the really good Dragon Blade, and that's going to be coming up right now. Here comes Chubby!
Oh, RD2 on the board. Mainly Zenyatta is able to take care of all the supports are down here for UG Black. Venus looking towards victory. Victory is in sight, and here it is. The retake comes in for Venus. 5 seconds remain for UG Black to maybe stall this one last time, and here's the Tracer. It's Nebs that can re-trigger overtime again and again. Enough for reinforcements to come in, but not enough. Venus walk away here with Lijiang Tower and the series in this Game 5 victory.
And we go the distance, Game 3 of Game 5 in the best of 5. And a lot of numbers, but all you need to know is it will be Venus taking the win. And what in a spectacular way. I mean, it kind of looked like the storybook ending for UG Black. They come back after 0 to 100 on that second point. They're setting up for another case, but that's going to be Marla again. Marla on the front line with the shot calls. And will be again Team Venus. Congratulations. And John, let's bring you back on. John, what a Game 5.
So it's been a pleasure that the first time I get to do this, we get to see, you know, a really close match go all the way to a map 5 in this one. And wow, Adept is just so adept at this game.
Oh my god, I'm so intoxicated with these Adept checks.
I will boo myself because it is. Yeah,
do you have a sound?
It was just. I do have.
Oh my! Are you about to boo yourself? Oh, whoa!
There it is.
Hey.
No,
Yeah,
the soundboard.
Yeah, don't worry, it'll never happen again.
I like that a lot.
I wish you self-applauded, to be honest.
Yeah,
You just said that joke and then
I mean, like, the applause I get though is only like little small claps, you know.
Oh my god.
So, anyways,
that was great.
We're totally getting off track here. But I mean, I was gonna ask you guys, like, who's your MVP? Who is the big one? But I mean, it's Adept, right? Like, it has to be Adept.
Oh god, I feel like we've talked about it so much. Let's talk about someone else. Maybe Nebs also, I think, had a really big tire on the control center that won them the team fight. So he gets a big shout out as well for being a very capable Junkrat.
Yeah, I'm updating the team roster right now. Nebs, your Junkrat is pretty lit, so we're looking at the team rosters. Change that from the Pharah to the Junkrat himself.
And Nebs was really their only chance to really answer Adept. She was just so consistently in the support's face. You saw on Farah on that last map, just constantly harassing Mercy, particularly. I was just watching, just ignoring. There's Mercy, boom, and then everything just goes ahead and falls in favor of Venus here. So, wow, what a treat to see Venus, first of all, just play, because it's such a cool roster. And then not only that, but take that one away. So it was really cool. So how often are these teams playing together? So this was just a normal scrim, right?
Yeah, this was
Venus.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I know, speaking to Venus before this scrim, I know they've had some core members, mainly Marla and Adept have been teaming for a long time together. And I think they're trying out some different people. So I think we mentioned at the beginning of the scrim, they're using substitutes and they still went to Game 5 and won. So I think a lot of credit goes to the shot calling of Marla when you have substitutes coming in, able to communicate what you're doing as a team with new players coming in. That takes a lot of micromanaging, especially when a Mercy should go in, when the team should go in. And I think Venus, using substitutes, were able to act like they've been teaming for months together.
Yeah, and maybe having it on to someone who was let's see, who was substituting. That was let's see here. Let's check the roster again.
They had, say,
Chubby Tubbs.
Chubby Tubbs.
Right? Yeah, so again, Chubby Tubbs, while I think the play was really great, it wasn't super stand out, but again, it's because you have other players like Adept and Marla really helping the team along, play towards their win conditions. We never really saw Chubby Tubbs be the weak link, and that's probably the best, one of like the best things you can ask for, or all you can really ask for out of a sub. But on the other side, I do have to remind that also Nebs was a sub this game too.
Oh,
and Nebs was playing like really well. I mean, we already gave the shout out, and we gave the Junkrat. We gave the old I don't know, some kind of ceremony of that, changing the
a
name.
Thumbs up, big thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. And so great play again from Nebs too, playing with OP Free. So both these teams really showing that with a strong shot calling core, you can really even if you have subs, you have the right subs, the right players, they can really gel together as a team.
Yeah, on Gentleman Black too, I really feel like I want to just mention Lizard Birdie played, had some really great hit scans, some really great Widowmaker stuff where I'm just like, is that real? Because there was the 3 headshots back to back to back in the span of like 7-8 seconds. Thought I was watching a little owl highlight there for a second. So it was lots of highly skilled players in this matchup. So it's definitely really fun to see competitive matches and to see both teams go the distance and ultimately just see some really good Overwatch get played.
Oh, and Kristen, thanks for correcting me, Marla. That has been also a day one original, I guess, Venus member. So just forgot about that. They have been flexing their 3 other players, mainly switching out their supports, but that core that they have has been so solid. You can tell Kristen and Marla have been working together really well and diving in together and everything.
Absolutely huge.
And also to highlight another tank on the other side of UG Black, I really like T-Smax's Roadhog on Lunar Colony. I thought that was really a force to be reckoned with when they were playing defense, and pairing him with the Orisa, I really liked his Roadhog.
It was huge. I mean, how many times were we talking? Huge is literally the biggest contributor from UG Black. Oh, whoa, wait. That
he has a soundboard
is so
ready for your
okay. All right. I mean, we're already in love with you, John, here being our great host, and then now you just go on piling on. You just like the cake and the whipped cream too. But yeah, T-Smack for sure was indicated as a support, but flexed onto the tank for that round. Great hooks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ultimately, I honestly, I can't say that there were, there's a lot of times when you're watching Overwatch, there's like people who aren't pulling their weight. And you like, they end up getting called out. And I'm like, look here. I'm like, honestly, it was just a really close game. And there was a few people, we talked about Adept as being one of those people who, and Nebs, of course, who are really just kind of end up being centerpieces to these really crucial moments. But ultimately, we just saw a really strong and steady play. Feel bad for Ungentleman Black supports because they had to deal with Adept the whole 5 maps. So, go grab a drink. It's on Mushu. So,
yes.
Yeah. Physically, actually on me. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
with that whipped cream I was talking about earlier.
Ooh, whoa. All right. No, I'm the main course, man. I'm not the dessert. Lemon kiwi sounds more like a dessert. She's a like sweeter person than I am. Yeah.
Kick tripod's just a prosthetic, so don't eat that.
Prosthetic.
Don't eat this.
Tripods.
Good stuff. All right.
Oh, man. Well, what do we do? What do we do now from here?
I think so I mean, we at this point we wrap it up. We give people shout outs and thank everyone for joining us here for Broadcast.gg Scrim Nights. These are definitely one of the bigger viewerships, bigger streams that we've had. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for getting the word out. And I mean, honestly, probably some of the best games we've seen here. Normally in the best of 5, we don't go to game 5. It's usually 4-0s or 3-1s like this. So definitely a treat to have that.
Yeah, I thought these were really close games, and this is my first time actually watching a scrim of Team Venus. And I think a lot of people were here, of course, to see Gentleman Black, but to see an all-female, or minus the substitute here, but an all-female roster really perform at this level of play. These are grandmaster players, which can perform on different roles than the ones you might assume they're playing. And I think everyone performed very, very well, especially, of course, we highlighted Adept, but the core members of Marla, Adept, and Kristen, with their addition of support players, like I said, they played like they've been teaming for months together. Great shot calling from the side of Marla. Of course, I'm not in their comms. I'm assuming it went great because they won, but really close games between these two teams. And I'm excited from what I've seen from Venus, and I hope they get to compete in open contenders and whatever awesome endeavors their team has.
Very great. Well, thank you so much to everyone. Thanks, John. Thanks, Jen, John and Jen, Kick Tripod, and Lemon Kiwi. Follow them. Those are the Twitter handles down below. And I'm also Mushu Beef. And this has been another Broadcast.gg Scrim Nights. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys next time.